Masturbate.
And with that, we're live on the we're live on the QBC Exchange. That is AJ. I am Andy. Welcome to another fantastic episode. We got a great show for you lined up today.
Happy Wednesday, y'all.
Wednesday. Aren't you excited that it's Wednesday? Look how excited AJ is that it's a Wednesday. Woo! Let's start out with our opening drive. We're going to recap the national championship in which Alabama won 26-23 in overtime. Great national championship games. They are ballers. My leadoff question, first question is, when are they going to name the national championship trophy the Saban Trophy? It needs to be the Nick Saban Trophy already.
Hopefully tomorrow, because he is the cheese.
What kind of cheese?
Blue cheese.
Oh, my God.
He stinks and he's delicious at the same time. Yeah.
One of the big stories from the national championship was Jalen Hurts left the game, and a freshman quarterback. I'm trying to say his name, but I still can't even say his name.
His first name's Tua. I know that. He went to the same high school as Marcus Mariota, so.
I knew they were close friends.
No, you didn't.
But yeah, I did. They did talk about. They reached out to Marcus Mariota like, oh, your buddy, oh, your friend, Tua. Anyway, Tua comes in after Alabama shut out the first half. He comes in the second half and lights up in Alabama fashion. Impressed with that switch, I have to imagine you are.
Yeah, I am. And the weird thing about it is I think Nick Saban knew the whole season that Tua was a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. But I think Nick Saban, for as crazy of a coach as he is, he seems to have some sort of allegiance towards his players. And I really think he didn't want to make the switch during the year because he didn't want to scare off recruits that once they got there that they could easily be replaced in their second or third year. So.
But that's got to be a testament to the Nick Saban mindset that anybody and everybody needs to be ready to go and should be ready to go.
I also think that he was the best quarterback on the team, and he should have been starting the whole season. But all the freshmen that came in and scored all those touchdowns in the second half, it's literally like Saban took out his whole first-team offense in the second half, put a bunch of second-teamers and freshmen out there, and they just scored 26 points in the second half and made everything a lot better for Alabama. So,
what I was most impressed with was how Jalen Hurts handled himself at the interview at the end. You did think that it was a good move,
even during the game.
He's biggest sideline cheerleader, biggest supporter. When Tua went in, he's all in there like, let's go. All the goofy pump up stuff they do. And speaking of freshmen,
no wonder you need a new computer.
Speaking of freshmen, a lot of credit has to be given to Georgia Jake Fromm. Leads them all the way to a national championship. He was kind of the similar situation, just except not in the last game of the year. He kind of took over first game of the year. So he had a little bit of time to take over. But nonetheless, Jake Fromm still deserves some credit.
Ya boy.
Good comments on Jake Fromm's performance.
All right, well, anyways, on Jake Fromm's performance, just real quick. Yeah, he played really well, and the issue wasn't that he let them down at the end of the game. It was that once Georgia was up 20-7, they just started playing not to lose instead of playing to win, and that's what killed them.
Kirby Smart will always take advantage of you if you're playing to not lose.
Well, that's one of Nick Saban's at least that was from like 2009 to 2014 before Lane Kiffin got there, was to play not to lose and just play defense, which was his MO, and that's exactly what Kirby Smart tried to do in the second half. Just play enough to have more points than them at the end of the game, and it didn't work out.
That win, by the way, officially puts Nick Saban at 12-0 against his predecessors.
And he has 6 national championships.
Oh, lest we forget that little piece of information, too.
And his 6 national championships are more than all of the coaches in college football right now combined. So, in Division I.
Very true. And he tied? Was it tied Bear Bryant, right? He tied Bear Bryant for most all-time national championships. Now, what does this mean for great, this season's over. Alabama was victorious this year. Where do they go next season? Are they still going to be 1-2 come next season? What's AJ's very, very, very early number 1, number 2 for next season?
My very, very, very early 1 and 2 is Alabama and Clemson.
Georgia's not up there?
I mean, Georgia's in the top 5, but they're not number 2. Clemson, I think Clemson would have beat Georgia. Georgia already beat Oklahoma. I think Clemson was the second best team in college football, and they just had a really bad game against Alabama. And they couldn't throw the ball because Kelly Bryant, he's not a pocket passer, he's a runner. But they're still the second best team in the country, in my opinion.
Now, we've seen Clemson when they get hot and they made the national championship, they've made the playoffs consecutive years. Are we going to see that out of Georgia making it consecutive years?
It's possible. I just know that it's tough, and I know they're losing 2 key linebackers, especially that number 3 that plays middle linebacker. I don't know what his name is, but he was the leader of that defense and replacing those guys. Though they're not going to be bad, but I don't know how easy it is. I mean, you saw how tough the road was just to get to the playoffs for Georgia when they had to play Auburn. They didn't have to play Alabama during the regular season. I don't know if they ever do, but the SEC schedule is just so tough that you can't ever tell.
And finally, the argument's been made. We got a particular fan base that is still not happy with the outcome of the college football playoffs. Talking about that glorious fan base out of the city of Columbus.
Jesus Christ.
Did the best team, you can make this debate all you want, so we're going to ask AJ, did the best team in college football win the national championship?
Yes, Alabama would have beat Ohio State by 40 points, just like Ohio State lost to Clemson last year by 40 points. Ohio State lost to frickin' 6-6 Iowa, 56-24. Give me a break.
And just a little news for today, another fan base that's not happy with the results, UCF called out Alabama today. So we'll ask you again, did the best team in college football win the national championship?
Has anybody seen the last episode of Blue Mountain State? Because if you haven't, you should go watch it.
That's what everyone's hoping for. That's what we are hoping for. We want that cornfield matchup. Bring it down.
It wasn't a cornfield. It was a marijuana field.
I'm sorry. I kind of PG'd it for the show, but we'll go ahead and it's a marijuana field. That was the opening drive sponsored by the JV Report. Hey, JV.
Report.
We're going to move on next to the Pick Six. A little bit of interesting Pick Six today because we got 4 games to pick from. So we're also going to pick 2 small discussions we're going to have. We had the wild card matchups last week, AJ. Biggest takeaway or your most impressive moment from last week's wild card? Who stood out to you the most last week?
The one that stood out to me the most was the Tennessee Titans coming back down from 21-3 at halftime against the Chiefs at home, who, even though the Chiefs have lost 6 straight home playoff games, had no business losing that game, and they managed to. The Titans are going to lose to the Patriots by 25 points this weekend, but that still was the best performance for me from last weekend.
Even though I was in Sidelines Bar watching the Saints and Panthers game, but even that, from what I saw, I thought that was a really good game. I thought that I still think the NFC champion is going to come out of the NFC South, and
that's fair.
I think the Saints are rolling right now. They beat a really good Panthers team. They're going to go to a very good Minnesota team, but I'm just from last week, I was impressed by the Saints' outcome there. Least impressive, anyone that you were disappointed in last week?
The one that I was most disappointed in was Andy Reid and Alex Smith. The 2 of them combined. Because they're full of crap.
That was heartbreaking for all Chiefs fans, because not only did they lose that game, now they're passing Nebron, their offensive coordinator, who we will talk about later.
Who sucks.
What a disappointing Jaguars-Bills game. I'm even more disappointed in the Bills. To watch them get to about the 3-yard line and then not punch it into the end zone because of penalties. Very disappointing weekend for the Bills. Blake Bortles had more rushing yards than passing yards that game.
We'll talk about it later.
Overall, just very disappointing.
All right.
So now we go to the divisional matchups this week, and our first one kicks us off on Saturday at 4:30. We're going to see the Falcons head to the Eagles. AJ, who you got?
I know that everybody's picking the Falcons, and they've got the 7-point touchdown favorite in Vegas, but I'm going to take the Eagles in this one just because of the way they've played all year. The Falcons really didn't do that much on offense against the Rams to show me that I think they can beat the Eagles, and I think the Eagles will put up 17 points. It'll be a 17-14 game or a 24-17 game, but I think the Eagles will win.
I'm going to side with you there. I think Nick Foles is very underrated. Someone with the NFL Network rated their top 8 quarterbacks still available, and they put Nick Foles at 8. Or still playing right now, they put Nick Foles 8.
They put him ahead of Blake Bortles?
Yeah.
Who is that? Because that guy needs to be fired. I can do that job.
It's on Instagram. It's on the NFL Network.
Sign me up and I can spew BS all over the place. That's trash.
Yeah,
what's that guy's name? He's trash.
I will look it up. I'll look it up during the AJ rant.
The NFL Network sucks.
I'll look it up during the AJ rant because you're just going to take all the camera time. Slightly hit on this one. Saturday at 8:15 on CBS. We're going to see the Titans head to New England. AJ?
Patriots.
Easily. Tom Brady. Legendary. Look at that hair. Jaguars are going to head to Pittsburgh at 1:15 on Sunday. That's a CBS game. AJ, let's hear it.
Well, for as good as the Jaguars defense is, and as oblivious as the Steelers offense can be, the Jags defense is 10 times, or the Jags offense is 10 times worse than the Steelers defense. I foresee some sort of pick six or something taking place and the score being 7-0. Steelers.
God, as much as I hope that the Jaguars keep this Blake Bortles show rolling.
No, I don't. I hope they mention right now.
Saxonville.
Oh, come on.
I, too, had the Steelers winning. Even though the Jaguars picked off Ben Roethlisberger 5 times last time they played, I don't see that happening again this time. The running game's going to help out the Steelers. Steelers will win this one. Saints at Vikings, Sunday at 4:40 on Fox to wrap up divisional weekend. AJ, who you got?
I got the Vikings. They already played them once in Minnesota and beat the Saints with Sam Bradford, and Case Keenum's playing 20 times better than Bradford was. So I got the Vikings easily in this game.
You know, I really thought the Saints were the second hottest team going into the NFC side of the playoffs, and the first being the Vikings right now. As much as I still want to take the Saints, I just said they're going to be the NFC representation. I'm going to stick to that. Saints are going to win in Minnesota. Drew Brees is going to put up a few touchdowns. The Saints are going to walk out of Minnesota, and they're going to head back there in about a month. Because that's where the Super Bowl is. You get it?
Yeah, I got it.
That was our pick 6 brought to you by Nobody. Hey, Nobody. We're going to wrap up with the final drive here. And as you can imagine, AJ, I'm sure you did. I watched both introductory press conferences for the Bears and for the Raiders. A little bit of a difference in between press conferences. The Raiders had some SI Sports Illustrated reporter tweeted a Guns N' Roses concert going on. Instead of a Raiders conference.
It was a bad hair concert. That's what it was. Everybody with ugly bowl cuts was there.
I think it was Gruden's idea was to match Mark Davis. They had to have planned that out. Whereas I was watching the Bears press conference, and it felt like I was supposed to be silent and respectful because I was at a funeral. It felt like a wake I was watching.
Bears suck. They drafted Mitch Trubisky. Give me a break.
So you impressed with either of those hires?
I'm impressed with the Raiders getting John Gruden just because I love John Gruden. He's a great TV personality. He's apparently a god with quarterbacks, and he was pretty good with the Raiders before he got traded. So I'm pretty excited for him, and I know he's freaking excited. So
I'm excited for the Raiders too. Yeah, we keep talking about how big of a concert that was, but they're bringing hype to Oakland,
and
until they leave. Oakland.
And they have a legitimate football team too. I mean, if you don't forget, last year they were 12-4. This year they had a down year, but they had some injuries and stuff taking place. And if they can find a legitimate running back, they got a real shot of getting back to 12-4, taking over the AFC West and being a 1 seed next year.
They do have a good team. And Gruden even pointed out in his introductory press conference that you're allowed to have a little bit of a regression, as Derek Carr did, when you break three bones in your back. So
right.
He understands he's going in and he's going to take over day one. I think the Raiders are going to be just fine. What stuck out to me and was interesting to me was that he still has not met with Marshawn Lynch. So let's just touch real quick. Do you think Marshawn Lynch and John Gruden are going to get along? If
Marshawn Lynch is going to – he's done. He's not going to play for the Raiders.
No more years?
No, I think he's going to go back into retirement. It was a good trial, but granted, he didn't get the ball a lot, and he could have been a lot more effective this year if they would have tried to run the damn ball, but – still, it's too much, and John Gruden's a no-nonsense guy. He's not going to deal with that crap.
What's your projection for the Bears this coming year?
2-14.
You heard it here first. Head coaching debut for Matt Nagy. Nagy, did I say that right? Nagy?
It doesn't matter. He sucks.
It doesn't matter. He's 39 years old. They're going with the Sean McVay approach of going with a young coach.
That's what everybody in the NFL is doing right now.
I agree. I'm getting that. Respect it for now. It's not going to last.
He sucks.
Sorry, Bears. You don't see them doing a Rams turnaround?
No. With what? They have no talent on offense or defense.
The
Rams had the best running back in the NFL on a really good defense the year that they had Jeff Fisher's last year, and they had a rookie quarterback. And they went and got some receivers for him. But the Bears just got rid of Alshon Jeffrey, who plays for the Eagles now. They got no receivers. They got no line. They got no defense. They got no chance.
Lions, Colts, Giants, Cardinals. They're still open. We're assuming that they're going after playoff coaches still. Any word or anything that you think that would happen or their best moves still for them?
Apparently, from what I've heard, is that the Giants' first choice is to get Matt Patricia with Jim Schwartz second. That's the only thing I know right now. I know that the Lions are also interested in Matt Patricia, but I have a friend named Caleb who thinks that the best move for the Lions is to get Pat Shurmur, so we'll see what happens.
Pat Shurmur was actually the top candidate. I think it was for one of the jobs. I think it was Colts. Pat Shurmur was being named the top candidate for the Colts job, I believe.
Yeah. North Turner is going to the Panthers. How about that?
I didn't catch that one. When did that one come out?
It's not done yet, but it's pretty – they're saying it's going to be expected in the next couple of days. He's going to be the offensive coordinator in Carolina.
Breaking news, you heard it here first on the JV report. North Turner's heading to Carolina. Steph Curry owned. Steph Curry owned.
He doesn't own them. He doesn't own anything around them. He doesn't own
soon to be owned.
Nope.
Soon to be owned Steph Curry. The Curry Panthers.
He doesn't have any money.
Carolina Panthers.
He doesn't have any money to pay for him.
The Carolina Panthers.
No.
That's the final drive here. AJ is going to close out the show because I closed out the show the last few times and it got AJ angry and he wasn't going to renew his contract. That's up in February. So we're going to give him some airtime. So AJ, let's hear the AJ's rant.
Blake Bortles. I mean, this guy. Did anybody watch that game on Sunday? Because I sure as hell did. And what I was watching was complete trash. That guy cannot make throws. He can throw screens. They ran 4 screen plays in a row. He had more rushing yards than passing yards. He looked like a lot of bad words I can't say right now, but he sucked. He is the most trash. I don't even know how he's still in the NFL, to tell you the truth. He might be the 100th best quarterback in the NFL, putting 99 other guys ahead of him. I mean, he is complete trash. You can put anybody else out there, and they can do exactly what he did and probably better. I can guarantee you if Mark Sanchez was the starting quarterback of the frickin' Jacksonville Jaguars, they would be Super Bowl champions this year. Blake Bortles is a joke. Get on with his life. He needs to shave his head, first of all, because that bald spot is looking super gross right now. He sucks. He's the worst. I hate him. I wish he would never breathe again. I don't know why the Jacksonville Jaguars even drafted him. He can't throw a pass. High school quarterbacks, I could go out there and complete more passes than he could have. I can throw those 5-yard screens. He is just the most trash guy I've ever met, and he needs to get out of here. He sucks. He's the worst. I just wish he would just stop. Put Chad Henne in. Put the kicker in. Just run Wildcat the whole game. You got a better chance. Just stop with the Blake Bortles crap. Bunch of nonsense. Tom Coughlin, knock it off.
Wow, man.
Put anybody else in there.
Would the Jaguars be better off with Andy Dalton?
Should suit up and go in there and still do better than Blake Bortles. Put Miles Jack at quarterback.
Cody Kessler.
Yeah. Put him in there. Put Deshaun Kaiser. Anybody you want. Blake Bortles can't throw a freaking football. Get him out.
You know who still needs an NFL job? Money Manziel.
Yeah, put him in there. He would do better than Blake Bortles. I'll tell you that right now.
Wow,
Blake Bortles sucks.
Well, if you like the video, go ahead and leave us.
And that guy in the NFL Network that said Nick Foles is the 8th best quarterback left of the 8 quarterbacks. He should be fired right now because he also sucks because he doesn't know crap about football either. And I guarantee you he's on Blake Bortles' paycheck because he is trash just like Blake Bortles. Anybody that thinks Blake Bortles is better than any quarterback in the NFL has to be high as a kite.
Greg Rosenthal.
Yeah,
you know you don't like him already.
That guy's garbage. He's probably got. You don't like him already because he's got a pink face. He sucks. Nobody ever wants to hear him talk again. That's why nobody watches the NFL Network. He should be fired.
Greg, interestingly enough, Greg ends with 2 G's, so it's Gregg. So GG.
Reserve comments for off air.
If you like what you saw, if you like the face, if you like the nose of AJ, go ahead and leave a video, leave a subscribe, comment, type a like,
something.
Yeah. Our name is AJ and Andy. We are the Quarterback Center Exchange.
Blake Bortles sucks.
We'll catch you guys all next Wednesday. Blake Bortles is awful. Thank you. One more thing. They put Tom Brady at number 2 and Ben Roethlisberger at number 1.
No.
Greg Rosenthal did.
Yeah, he sucks.
I just need to point that out there.
Let me tell you something about Greg Rosenthal. This guy, he walks in here, he's like, "Oh,
we'll talk about
NFL Network. I make 25,000. I say Blake Bortles. That guy sucks.
So long. We'll see you all next week.
New job. You suck."